Back in 2012, 2013, I was living in Oklahoma, Norman, Oklahoma, which is a suburb of Oklahoma City. And shortly after I moved to Oklahoma, I was pulled over by a cop. And I lived in a pretty nice part of town. Like I said, it was out in the suburbs, nice area. And if you know anything about Oklahoma City, especially Norman, Oklahoma, there's not a lot of people out there that look like me. And you know what I mean when I say people that look like me. And when I was pulled over, the cop got out of the car and he proceeded to ask me a lot of questions. Where was I going? What was I doing? What was I doing in that part of town? Where I was from? And I had a state driver's license. I just moved from Alabama. And I'm answering the questions, I'm answering all the questions, doing all the yes, sir, no, sirs. And he starts asking me a ton of questions about my car. At the time, I was driving a BMW. It wasn't the newest BMW, but it was still a pretty nice car for a young black guy to be driving. So he started asking me, is this really my car? Is this your car? Is it registered to you? Showed him the insurance. He wanted to see any paperwork that I had as far as when I purchased the car. I told him I didn't have a bill of sale in the car, but I had registration. And so if I had registration and insurance, then clearly it should be my car. He came back to me and he was like, well, this is an awful nice car for somebody like you to be driving. And I knew what he meant when he said somebody like me. My saving grace actually was the fact that when he cross-checked my license plate was actually a personalized license plate from Alabama that had my middle name on it, Bakari. Personally, I think try to catch me in the midst of stealing a car, which clearly wasn't the issue. That experience really made me think a lot, not just about me being in Oklahoma, but it was a splash of cold water in my face for the way that I get viewed. Over the years, I've tried my best to be very unproblematic, not to be super controversial, things of that nature. I went to school, got a degree, got a job, got a career going, and I always tried my best to make sure that I was on the straight and narrow. But in that moment, all of that went away. None of that mattered. Where I went to school didn't matter. My degree didn't matter. The kind of car I drove didn't matter. How smart I was didn't matter. All that mattered at that point was that I was held by someone that had the power to legally do whatever they wanted to do to me in that moment. And I was in the middle of nowhere, not around any family or anybody that I knew. And it's frustrating and it's maddening and it's angering when you feel like you're working so hard and you're still not really getting much of anywhere. Because every day you're constantly reminded that none of that matters. None of it. There's a lot of people out here in this world that have been dealing with things that are even worse than what I've been dealing with. And I'm talking socioeconomics, right? We're all the same skin color, but there are people that have been really struggling over the years and they're tired of it. They're sick of it. It's taken me a few days of pretty much silence to really start thinking about what I wanted to say in relation to George Floyd. And not just George Floyd, but countless other people that have tragically lost their lives at the hands of law enforcement. I mean, the list is seemingly endless, and it's really a shame that it is. This is a sneaker channel, and you guys come here for a certain kind of content. And I respect it, and I love you guys for coming here for that content. I've tried my best to come up with a way to do a video that still conveyed the spirit of this channel, but also got a very important point across as well. So here's the situation. We're dealing with multiple things in the country right now. All of them are bad, and all of them are bad in their own way. A lot of things are unjust. And unfortunately, a lot of nonsense is overshadowing what's really going on and the real problem that we're having. I don't like it, and I want to speak on it a little bit. I'm in Huntsville, Alabama. Right now, literally right now, while I'm recording this video, there was a peaceful protest today right here in the city that ended with the crowd getting tear gassed by the police. Now, the story was that the crowd wouldn't disperse in time, and the police threw a smoke grenade that didn't work, so they had to tear gas people. Also, right now, as we speak, there's looting happening in multiple places around the city because people are either wanting some free stuff, they're upset, they're angry, I don't know why, but it's happening right now as I record this. Make no mistake about it. Systemic oppression and racism is something that is so ingrained in the bedrock of our society, it'll never go away, ever. There are way too many people in this country that look at people like me as inferior in some kind of a way, or that look at people like me as intimidating, offensive, less than, The list goes on and on. As a black man, I've come to understand that, and I don't accept it, but I've learned to live with it because I have to. But what a lot of people are seeing right now is that when you have to live with something that's continuously bombarding you over and over and over and over, everybody has a boiling point, a tipping point. And there's been a lot of stuff that's been brewing and bubbling underneath the surface of black folks in this country for a long time. We have had to watch so many things happen to so many people that look like us, that enough was enough with George Floyd. And I don't know what it was about George Floyd in particular. I don't know what it was about him that, sparked this kind of outrage, but I'm not mad at it. And I want to make that clear. I'm not mad at the emotion that people are showing because it needed to come out. The issue I have is where that energy is being directed toward instead of more constructive ways that energy could be channeled. As we all know, multiple stores have been looted at this point. A lot of them, unfortunately, sneaker stores and sneaker boutiques. Stores like Nike were looted. Stores like Round 2, owned by Sean Witherspoon and his partners, were looted. Stores like Flat Club have been looted. Probably the most popular sneaker spot that you can think of. Sneaker Politics in Dallas was looted and robbed. Riff Los Angeles and their San Francisco location were robbed and looted. As a matter of fact, Riff put up a post that said there's no way to rebuild from San Francisco, and it looks like they're actually going to shut down their operation, at least out there. I want to make something very clear. As someone that's participated in peaceful protests in the past, and as someone that is a huge proponent of peaceful protests even now, I can tell you that the people that are looting these stores not only a lot of times aren't black, they don't have anything to do with feeling the feelings that we feel as black people, because a lot of them, again, aren't black. They don't feel the rage and the anger that we feel because honestly, that rage and anger isn't healed through looting sneaker stores. We don't care about Round 2. We don't care about Flight Club. That's not the problem. What you're seeing in the protesting and the anger that you're seeing from people is the fact that people want justice for the law enforcement officers that are doing the mess that they're doing. That's why Kaepernick kneeled. It had nothing to do with anything more than police brutality. That is why we protest. Now, there are people that are lashing out. They're angry. But again, a lot of that has been bubbling and brewing underneath the surface. Now, do I condone it? No, because at the end of the day, another part of this issue that we're dealing with now, again, is the virus that was going around in the world. And unfortunately, it's still a thing that's going on. But it forced a lot of small business owners to shut down their stores temporarily. I don't know if any of you guys are small business owners, but if you are, and if you've been impacted by everything going on in the world up to this point, I feel for you. I'm sorry for you. But imagine how it feels to be a small business owner, and the moment you start opening up your doors after a month and a half of not making any money, and the moment you open your doors, your store is robbed and looted and destroyed. None of the people that are peacefully protesting that want real change, none of them are doing that. But there's a lot of people that are opportunists that are taking this as an opportunity to go and do some nonsense that they didn't have no business doing. And I want it very clear. I need y'all to delineate one from the other, separate one from the other, because not everybody doing that, and really not many people doing that, are the people that are also protesting for a purpose. That point is getting lost. And a lot of what we're seeing on social media these days, a lot of that is getting lost in the mix. You have protesters and you have looters. And these are two separate kinds of people that are actually worlds apart. Because like I said, a lot of the people doing the looting don't even look like the people that are protesting, and they don't even hold the anger. The anger and frustration that we feel as black folks in this country can't be healed with a pair of sneakers. We don't care about getting a pair of sneakers. We've been spending money. We don't mind spending money. The black dollar is a powerful dollar in this country. And if you don't think it's a powerful dollar, you need to take a look at literally any brand that put that white font against that black background on any of their social medias right now. Everybody's making statements about the black community, even if that they're not being sincere in it. And I know that a lot of companies are not being sincere in their statements. They're canned statements so that they can save the black dollar that they desperately need to keep their company afloat. We see you, and we're not going to be patronizing your business that much any longer. Trust me. If any of you watching happen to be one of the people that are participating in that mess out there, the looting, smashing buildings, things like that, I would urge you to stop. I would urge you to start thinking about the long-term consequences of your actions. It's not worth it. But if you're one of the people that are really about the cause, that's about justice, then I'll support you just like you support me. I really want to urge you guys to find healthy and productive ways that you can further the cause that brings about justice for people like George Floyd and his surviving family. Find ways that you can donate your time, your money, your resources. Find people that you can reach out to. Talk to people, encourage people, especially Black people. I've had a lot of my non-Black friends reach out to me, both in the sneaker industry and at large, just to check in. And I appreciate that more than any of you guys can even understand. That really means a lot to me. That's the way that we can be productive. That's the way that we come about and we bring about unity and uniformity in this thing. Guys, you got to understand, without organization, we have chaos out here. And what you're seeing is chaos. Now, again, that chaos is being exacerbated by opportunists, but that chaos is also a manifestation of the anger that people are feeling out here. I'm not here to say which is right and wrong. What I'm here to do is to let you guys know that destroying small business owners and what they've spent their lives to build is not going to bring about any feelings of justice or vindication. It's going to leave you feeling just as empty. But not only that, it's also going to leave you feeling a little bit guilty as well when you take a step back and you look at what you've done. Let's be productive out here. So what do stores like Flight Club and Riff, Round 2 have in common with George Floyd? Absolutely nothing. And that's why there really was no reason to break into those stores and to loot them, except to make a quick dollar. And if a quick dollar is worth more to you than furthering the cause that can maybe see a little bit of light in the darkness that's been the Black experience in America, you were never for us anyway, and we don't want anything to do with you. Enjoy the shoes. Enjoy the looting. Enjoy the money that you make off of it. We don't have that luxury. We don't have the ability to loot a store and to get some sneakers and to wake up the next day in a life of privilege. We got to wake up the next day Black, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. And getting a pair of sneakers is not going to change what we have to go through every single day. That's why we don't care about it. I've been hearing a lot of words over the last few days, but I've been looking at the actions of people a lot more than I've been listening to the words. We'll get better because we're strong people. We're built strong. We built this country. We built a lot of the things that a lot of other people have profited and benefited from. And guess what? If it's torn down, we'll build it up again. But trust and believe that we're going to be building up in a way that's going to be untouchable by people like that over there. Sometimes you got to burn it down to rebuild it. I see a lot of that happening in the country right now. And it is what it is. And as we rebuild, we'll be stronger, we'll be better, we'll heal because we have to. But make no mistake about it. The people that are really trying to be about change out here are not the people that are trying to steal sneakers and loot stores. If you're one of those kind of people, I don't have much respect for you. First and foremost, I hope that we all are offering the deepest condolences to anybody that is a friend or family member or a loved one of someone that has fallen unnecessarily at the hands of law enforcement and police brutality. Also, I want to offer my biggest apologies to anybody that was impacted if you were a small business owner. You didn't deserve this. You didn't deserve to lose your life's legacy, to lose what you put the sweat equity into every single day. You didn't deserve this, and I'm really, really sorry. I hope that you're able to rebuild your store and you're able to come back better and stronger than ever. I really do hope that. And if you're one of the people that's out in the streets doing something that you don't have no business doing, go home. You don't need to be out there. And you don't want to do anything that's going to mess you up in the long run either. That's all I got to say. Thank you guys for listening. I go by the name of Kari. Black Lives Matter. And until next time, I'm out.